Do you know that Singapore is the third most attractive real estate markets just behind London and Hong Kong? There is a reason why foreigners love buying properties in Singapore. It's simple. It's because the property market in Singapore is just that attractive. In fact, Singapore's property market has long been regarded as a safe haven because of how lucrative and secure it is. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, the property market scene in Singapore continued to grow stronger. Specifically, the private property market grew by 23% in the past 2 years. Despite Singapore has several regulations and cooling measures put in place by the authorities, foreigners are still coming into Singapore. In fact, the housing market in Singapore is one of the most regulated compared with other major cities. If such cooling measures has not been implemented, Singapore would likely garner more interest and capital, and a more pronounced appreciation in private property prices. But the issue is the property market in Singapore still attractive despite these implemented cooling measures? Our answer to that question is yes. Singapore will continue to be one of the most attractive cities for investors and businesses alike, even in the post-pandemic world. Consequently, the housing market in Singapore will continue to grow in the medium and long run due to the increase in demand. In fact, Singapore's prime geographical location and long-term planning put Singapore at an advantage, especially with the current COVID-19 pandemic exacerbating geopolitical concerns. For instance, the US-China competition disrupted global supply chain and fueled trade protectionism among nations that are primarily concerned with the short term. The ever-evolving pandemic has redefined risk attitudes, especially among individuals with extremely high net worth. What this means is affluent entrepreneurs and worldwide talent will flock to Singapore. In fact, the ongoing promotion by the VCC has also raised Singapore's status to be a wealth management powerhouse. As such, making Singapore becoming a default go-to city for global funds and many alike to establish themselves. Singapore is also a regional manufacturing powerhouse despite its modern size. Specifically, manufacturing accounts for over 20% of Singapore's GDP in contrast to other global financial centers which are predominantly service-oriented. Singapore's attractiveness on a global stage does not just end there. On the global supply chain aspect, Singapore plays a key role in a wide range of products from storage and memory to microelectronic mechanical systems. Specifically, Singapore produces 4 of the world's top 10 pharmaceutical drugs and is also the world's 7th largest supplier of petrochemicals. In terms of biomedical activities and innovations, it is also expected to acquire significantly in Singapore by 2022. With such a wide range, it helps to diversify Singapore's economical context and has even benefited Singapore during the COVID-19 pandemic. Apart from being attractive on a global scale, Singapore also manages to distinguish itself from other countries. This is because of its distinctive services as worldwide wealth management and financial center founded on low corruption rates, transparent public institutions, and strong political stability. As such, Singapore will continue to be an ideal site for investors and enterprises that are looking to capitalize on Asia's massive development potential in the future decade. Although the cooling measure in place may have caused Singapore a slower property market growth as compared to some other cities, it has stopped private house values from spiraling out of control. This is especially beneficial with the COVID-19 pandemic affecting the economy. As such, local and foreign property purchasers are likely to invest in properties in Singapore. This is even despite the increased ABSD rates, where we predict the luxury residences in Singapore will continue to attract strong interest from overseas investors. This is especially so with the recent declaration of easing border curbs. Consequently, Singapore will attract some of the international mobile rich who are still waiting to pay the 30% ABSD for admission into Singapore's daily prime property market. Foreigners continue to show a strong interest in purchasing properties in Singapore. This is even with the most recent wave of cooling measures announced on the night of December 15, 2021, in which foreigners must pay now 30% ABSD. In fact, the percentage of new luxury residences purchased by non-PR foreigners increased in May, rising 31% in January 2022 to 53% just last month. This increase in foreigners purchasing properties in Singapore is also comparatively higher than the prior months in 2021 and 2022. Specifically, during 2021 to 2022, foreigners merely purchased lesser than 18 new luxury units every month. Furthermore, the 53% of new luxury units purchased by foreigners last month was the highest proportion of total luxury units sold in a single month in the 16 months before May 2022. Taken together, property purchasers, both domestic and international, are likely to keep a keen eye on Singapore as a home investment destination.